The taking of Gulltown, while bloody, was not the largest or fiercest battle to fill the pages of history, but none the less important. The reality, the outcome, was never actually in question. House Grafton had stayed loyal to King Ares II for what reasons we cannot say, but given Jon Arryn had the backing of most of the remaining Vale lords. The taking of the town, in essence, was more of a formality. It is not clear when Robert Baratheon decided to press his own claim to the throne, but the fact he actively fought during the taking of Gulltown suggests that at this stage the idea of Robert becoming king was not one that had been discussed, given the danger Robert would have put himself in by taking part in the attack. But it must be said, during the taking of Gulltown, Robert Baratheon is said to have fought very well. He slew Mark Grafton with his now famed warhammer. With the port now taken, Robert was able to sail south to Storm's End to rally his own men. As the rebellion that was not yet called Robert's grew, the taking of Gulltown by Jon Arryn allowed the Vale to consolidate into rebel control. After the battle, the Vale was now firmly behind Jon. Arryn Ned Stark was on his way north. Robert Baratheon headed south. But even so, it is said that the Mad King could still not see the threat these rebels posed, or the alliances forming against his rule. Sailing from Gulltown with a small escort, Robert's journey would be far less eventful than that of Ned Stark, whose travels back to Winterfell we've already documented, but Robert's path was in theory far more dangerous than his good friend Ned, with the Lord of Storm's End having to sail through the Bay of Crabs, then around the edge of Blackwater Bay itself, perilously close to the Targaryen seat of Dragonstone, where the royal fleet of King Orys, the second Targaryen, would certainly be patrolling in the event. Robert attempted to make his way home to Storm's End, but return home to Storm's End he did almost completely without hindrance. Once there, Robert assumed that his bannermen would come flocking to his court, and most did, but like in the Vale, there were a handful of lords who had remained loyal to King Aerys II and to the Iron Throne. It is believed that houses Grandison, Catherine, and Fell had been convinced by means unknown by the hand of the King Lord Owen Merryweather to oppose their lord's call for rebellion, so Robert could not think of marching his army north as he would have liked. He would also have to consolidate his own power in the Stormlands first. Rallying an army takes time, and it would take time for Robert's loyal banner men reach Storm's End, and while the castle was near impregnable in a siege, for the moment at least, Robert Baratheon's position was weaker than he would have liked. When word reached him, the houses of Grandison, Catherine, and Fell were marching to Summerhall, the ruined palace of House Targaryen, in the Dornish marches, meeting there to then plan out the assault on Storm's End. The hot-headed Lord Robert Baratheon saw an opportunity, a risky one, but if he could prevail, he would ensure his control of the Stormlands in one fell swoop. Against advice of his maester, he would take the more unexpected path and march to Summerhall to meet his enemies head-on.